We are now going to talk about the three types of persuasive claims that you will be using in your persuasive speech. So when we talk about claims, we divide it up into three subcategories: questions of policy, questions of value, and questions of fact. So let's start with the first one, questions of policy. Now, what do you think of when you think of policy? Most of the time it should be rules, legality of something, and that's exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about claims that have to do with policy. So questions of policy refer to persuading for a change to an existing law, plan, policy, or creating a new policy. Policy suggestions need to be real, they need to be sincere, and like everything, it needs to be based on research and evidence. An example of a policy would be, I propose that children 16 years or younger need a parent or guardian's permission to use a tanning bed. The reason it is a question of policy is because I'm looking to change the rules to require that someone 16 or under needs parents' permission to do something. Another example would be, I propose that the drinking age should be lowered to 18. I'm looking to make a change to a rule that already exists. I know that there are going to be people on the other side of my argument. So what does that mean I need to do? I need to be able to back my claim with some research. I also know if I were to propose that the drinking age should be lowered to 10, but that's probably not realistic for the society that we live in today and would be overturned pretty quickly. So that's what it means when I say it needs to be real and sincere. The second is question of value. Questions of value are used when trying to persuade relative merits. So is this good or bad? Is it moral? Is it immoral? Sometimes you will use facts to support your values, but at times these presentations can be more subjective. So instead of having concrete proof, a lot of this is talking about feelings and your conscience and something that's a little bit harder to prove. So examples of value would be, I want to persuade my audience that Coke is better than Pepsi. You can see where I stand on the subject. I believe that Coke is better than Pepsi, but this is a value. This is something that's hard to really measure the outcome. Another example would be to persuade my audience that it is better to live together before marriage. Again, this is my opinion, but on both of these that I've talked about so far, you can also find research of someone else who shares a similar value that you do to help support. Also, I like this little picture because there's always someone on the opposite side of the scale. So really recognizing what those values are too is something good to do because you want to show both sides of the argument. And the last one I have is to persuade the audience that people should have the right to die with dignity. So this one here, I like this example because it combines a little bit of policy, because for those of you who don't know, the die with dignity is what they call like euthanasia, but for humans. So someone of sound mind can decide to end their life because of a critical illness that is not going to be fixed, and in order to avoid having someone else take care of them or anything like that, it's the option to end their life. So persuading the audience that people should have the right, this is really, when it talks about like I'm giving this to the general people, it's really asking them to think about what do they consider right and wrong. But it also brushes on a claim of policy because that is a rule that most states in the United States do not allow this. The third one we're going to talk about is question of fact. So questions of fact are used when one person tries to persuade another that something is factual or not true. You may have a question that currently has no answer, and that's your job to convince your audience that what you are proposing is correct. So an example of this would be a historical controversy, predictions of something in the future that hasn't happened yet, or the bigger picture of questions of existence. So an example of a fact claim would be for me to persuade my audience that the Ravens will win the 2021 Super Bowl. This is an example of a fact claim because I am putting out a prediction. The Super Bowl hasn't happened yet, But if that's going to be my topic, okay, I want my audience to believe that that's true. So I need to provide research that shows why others also agree with my point of view. Maybe talk about some of the history of the team of why that pass leads me to think that this is going to happen. Anything like that. So with all three of these claims, you really still use research to support all of them. Even something as complex as a fact claim, which might be something that holds little to no truth. I think we all know someone who can be a really good arguer and you just feel like loves to argue, but you might also not really see any merit to that claim. And that's really a fact claim when there's someone who can argue their point to no end. That's a good example of what this is as well. All right, and that is all for this screen, guys.